Okay, I'm going to walk you through my course. I have created a course specifically for students who need more or less remedial instruction in how to use in-text citations and to cite their resources. We're finding that there's more and more of a need for this. The bigger our program grows, excuse me, and the more students we get in with more diverse educational backgrounds. A number of our students come in having never written a formal academic paper or having written one under the guidance of someone who did not teach them the appropriate formatting um, information. So we're finding a lot of pseudo plagiarism issues, and we're trying to get around that um, by offering students an opportunity to either refresh their skills or to develop skills that they didn't have in the past. The course is going to be completely self-directed. This is a real course that my department intends to build. Students would be advised to take the course when we identify what qualifies as plagiarism in their work. Take the course, refresh or develop skills, then come back and have an opportunity to redeem themselves in the course where the problem was initially identified. So they can start this at any point. It won't start at the beginning of the term or on a certain day of the term. They can complete it at their own pace, unless a professor says, I want this done by a certain time. They can just do it when they have a chance to do it and learn these skills. So, having said all of that, the course right now has almost no bells and whistles. Nothing. Uh, I did that for two reasons. One, because I haven't had a chance to really develop the skills yet to put in a lot of bells and whistles. And two, because I don't want a lot of distractions from the course content. These are students who, in many cases, don't follow instructions well to begin with, or they wouldn't have found themselves in the position where they have to defend their academic integrity. So I want as few distractions as possible for them. So everything is very, very just completely simple and uneventful. I have an announcements page that I would put information basically regarding updates to Blackboard on, so that if students are wondering why isn't this working, they can check the announcements page first and see if we know that there is a problem with Blackboard that might be affecting their ability to submit something or access a link. I have a very simple menu over here. Again, no color, no fancy, no nothing. My overview is probably the most detailed thing on the course. I have a brief welcome, probably more information in this one chunk than anywhere else in the course. But the course basically explains to students what they're here for, what we've done. I instruct them to please read everything on this page, and I'll come back up. Read everything on this page first, and then move forward, and directions for moving forward follow. I tried to make this as informal and person to person as possible. I want them to be relaxed when they do this. They're probably already coming in with a little bit of attitude for being told that they have to relearn something. So I want to be as friendly with them as possible, but still get the information across. I provide the course description, something a little more formal. It describes what they're going to have to do for the course, which essentially is complete 5 separate modules, each one addressing a different topic related to plagiarism, in particular the use of direct quotes, in-text citations, paraphrasing, all that good stuff. The big things that you find more than anything. Each module they will have to successfully complete an exam at the end of, just a very brief quiz at least 60% in order to successfully pass that module, and they have to pass all 5 modules at least 60% in order to successfully complete the course or the seminar. I'm going to leave it up to the professors whether they want students to complete an entire seminar or just individual modules if they prefer. But I think 60% is a reasonable amount that they would have to complete any one element with. Getting a little off topic there. The course learning objectives are pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I want them to be able to use academic sources, do it correctly, and do it in their own words. Use their own words to write their own essays. The syllabus, I did create a syllabus for this class that more thoroughly explains some of the details of the course. I'm posting it here. I'm posting it in 3 different formats, which should pretty much cover any kind of computer you have. I know that in the past we've had some problems with some students who used older versions of Macs having trouble accessing some of the documents that we post. So we'll get that formatted, or get that posted in as many formats as we possibly can. The grading information is here. A pretty simple rubric explains what we consider a high pass, a low pass, or failing. Students who fail will be directed to complete some more practice exercises and then retake the exam at the end of the module. There's for total points over the course for those students who just like to keep track of that kind of thing. At the end of the page, once they have completely read through everything, which really there isn't all that much, is a link to take them straight to Module 1, where they can begin working on the course. Module 1 is going to look like every other module. It's going to start off with some basic module learning outcomes, just 1 or 2 things that the student is supposed to get out of this particular module. A module shouldn't take them more than a week to do, even if they're working on another course or 2. It should be pretty simple. It should be pretty quick. They should just read a few items, which I'm going to show you here, and then move forward. I've created a checklist. As much as I love the pretty checklist that I'm seeing in some of the other courses, I like the simplicity of this one. I think I would like to actually create little icons here where I can put boxes where they could check it off if they want. But again, I don't have the skill set for that just yet. But that is something I'd like to do. Each module is going to require them to review some posted readings or resources that I've picked up off the internet that address the topic of that module. These are things that will be very valuable to them as they continue to write and move forward. So, we'll encourage them to keep those resources. The second thing that they'll have to do is we'll post some practice exercises. I have one posted in each module for this particular project. My facilitators, my graduate assistants, have agreed to help me build this course, and I would like them to assist me in creating multiple practice exercises so that we get different perspectives, different approaches to practicing the skill sets for each module. So we want to create at least 4 or 5 practice exercises for each module. The third thing students will be given is an opportunity to practice the exam. We'll set up a practice exam with a huge question bank so that they can retake it and retake it and retake it as many times as they need to feel comfortable with it. It'll be the same type of questions that'll be on the final exam, probably some of the same questions as the final graded exam. But I want them to feel comfortable taking the exam. I don't want test anxiety to get in the way of them demonstrating what they've been able to learn from the module. Then they'll need to take the graded exam. And after taking the graded exam, there's an opportunity to stop and assess their progress. And I'll scroll through here and you can see it in the module down towards the bottom. What they do after they pass or don't pass this module exam. Excuse me, sorry about that. First, readings and resources. I'm just listing a series of really good resources that I found online that explain the same information in different ways. And I've got a little bit of everything. I've got some blog stuff. I've got some some writing center resources from other universities. I've also got UC's Code of Conduct, and anything that UC posts about a topic we'll have on there. And oh my goodness, that's not on there. Okay, I've got to figure out how to fix that. But that is the appropriate HTML. I'm not sure why that didn't pop up. Okay. And then, so you get an idea of the kinds of resources that they'll have, that they just need to read and review the resources, make sure they understand them, then move forward to practice exercises. I found a few practice exercises to use for this particular project online. OWL gives us one. OWL is just a wonderful resource to have, and they give us some little activities and information that you can use for this particular module on just defining plagiarism and understanding what it is. Then we have the practice exam. I don't have a practice exam built in here. Again, it will probably be a version of the graded exam, but the practice exam will have multiple attempts with no resetting. It will just allow the student to take it as many times as they want. The graded exam will only allow them to take it once, and their final score is their final score. Now, once they have their score, they have completed their exam, and it's completely self-grading because, again, this is a self-directed course. I've also got problems with having enough staff to help me administer the course. So my graduate assistants are helping me on a volunteer basis, so I can't rely on that too heavily, and I've got plenty to do on my own. So again, this will be self-graded. I'm going to have some multiple choice, some true false, some matching, and again, it will look exactly like the practice exams. When they get through and have their score, they will stop and assess their progress, and that's where we go here. How did you do on the exam? My score was 12 or higher. Congratulations, you've completed this module. Select the link above and move to the next module. And there we go to module 2. If they don't get a 12 or above, my score was below 12. I actually toyed with the idea of putting here instead of "oh no, that sucks." Again, I don't want to get completely unprofessional, but I do want the students to understand that we're people too, and that even though they're not dealing directly with people in this course very much at all, that there are people behind it and people who are behind them. But anyway, let's get some more practice and try again. This link will take you back to the module and land you at the practice exercises. So once they've completed the practice exercises, and I'm going to add this to the syllabus, I need them to send us a copy of the practice exercises, because I'm guessing that they didn't pass the exam the first time because they didn't bother to do the practice exercises. They just skipped that, went straight to the exam, and failed it. So what I want them to do is do a practice exercise and send it to me via email, so I have something in my hand that says, okay, this is what they did. And if nothing else, it will give me an opportunity to help them identify where their weakness is, why they're struggling, or where they're struggling, so that then we can devote what human resources we do have to addressing those issues. Alright, back over here. That's what modules look like. Readings and resources, again, are posted within the modules, but I'm also going to post them under their own link, just for quickness. Of course, this is going to take you right back to where they're posted in the module. Okay. Looking at exams, same thing. They're going to be here to find easily, but when you select one, it's going to take you right back to where it's linked in the module, or start the exam, in this case, I guess. Blackboard tools, I have pretty limited for the students. Again, I don't want a lot of things to distract them, and they don't need a lot of resources from here. The resources they need specifically to complete this course or this seminar, I'm going to give them. So I don't want them messing around in here, for lack of another way to put it. Formatting resources, I definitely want to give them the UC Libraries link that shows us distance learners specific resources, including how to cite sources, and then Purdue's OWL, again, a fabulous resource, and we will add some other formatting resources as we find them that are of this quality. Technology resources, again, I'm going to link in here where we're going to buy software, or where they can buy the software. that they need for our course